Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. It's your girl Fee on YouTube, and it's the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Y'all know this is a pro Jesus loving channel, and over here we talk everything Bossa, we talk everything Jesus. So it look like Shakur Stevenson and got everybody's drawers and panties in a bunch because he's doing what he's usually doing, which is projecting, and which is making bullshit as excuses for why he claims he wants to be the greatest, unlike Gervonta Davis, but he doesn't make the moves to do so. Here's what I find interesting that nobody has spoke of yet. Even his counterparts who have seen to have hyped him up, Clarissa Shieldham and, Terrence Backham Bud Crawford and Andre ward him off of him. And, now we have his management, who shall remain nameless. I'm not gonna say his name. Who actually told Bill, and this is why I don't understand why everybody is so surprised. Shakur's management, y'all know who he is, told Bill, we're not letting Shakur fight. Shakur is still technically a 135er. He just moved up to fight old boy. You know what I'm saying? But technically, he's still at 135. We taking our time moving up. This and that and the other. We'll see about a catch weight. When Bill said about a catch weight, he said, we'll see about that. But right now, we just focus on building them up and all. It's like, how much building do you need? The nigga almost 40. I'm just kidding. He's almost 30. But you get what I'm saying. Right then and there, that let me know that, okay, he's another Tank. A lot of promise, but no action to back it. And I knew we wasn't going to get shit from him. Once his management came behind and back the bullshit, we know what it is now. So why people getting so emotional, who claim to not be so emotional, and getting so upset about this and even wasting their breath even talking about this nigga, I don't know. I'm not finna spend that much time talking about him. I'm gonna make this real short and sweet, like I did with Gervonta, and I stopped talking about him. It's a wrap. We're not going to get greatness out of Shakur. You know what I'm saying? His main people that used to back him and defend him ain't even backing him no more. You know what I'm saying? It's all about keeping your O now with these young cats. And, if that's what they choose to do, I ain't mad at them. You know what I'm saying? Do what you got to do. I'll just move around and use my focus wisely on fighters who want to be great. Now, Keyshawn Davis, with his emotional ass, at the end of the day, do I think Devin don't want to fight Keyshawn? I think they do, but I think they really want Shakur. Shakur is like a part of the little trinity they had going with Tank and, Shakur and Devin. You know what I'm saying? So I don't believe they really mind fighting Keyshawn, but I really feel like they're really focused on Shakur, and they're not going to get that fight. I don't think they really going to get the Keyshawn. I don't really think they want to fight Keyshawn Davis first, so I don't know if we're going to get that, especially when we got Gustavo, whatever his name is, over at the WBO or whatever he the president of, saying what he's saying, that he's going to enforce the Keyshawn and the Devin Haney fight like they just do Keyshawn. Now they forcing him in front of Devin now. And Bill, being the type of guy he is, you ain't gonna back him in a corner to do shit. And I respect that about Bill. So I'm thinking that Bill might not go for that bullshit, and I hope that he don't. Keyshawn is the one that'll really give Dev a problem anyway, I believe. Period. But I think Dev can still beat Keyshawn. I think he could beat Shakur. You know what I'm saying? But Keyshawn would give him more of a problem than Shakur, I feel. That's it. That's all. But we'll see if we make that happen. But that would be just like, up to Bill and them if they want to make that fight. I would love to see that fight. Keyshawn, I feel like that's more of a fight anyway. Keyshawn and Dev. But of course, I wanted to see these guys fight when they was all in the same weight division. Of course, Dev moved up before all of them and went on to do great things. And it just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? There's always something. when Debo the Dream Dev trying to make a fight. It's always the bullshit. If they ain't blaming the pappy, they blaming the money, or they blaming it on, you know what I'm saying, the antics, blah blah blah. Like, everybody had their reasons, their excuses for why they don't want to fight, the Dream Debo Dev. But it is what it is. It just shows that they really live in what they've been talking about all these years, and they really have made it to that point to where it's even hard just to get a fight for this guy, you know what I'm saying, which is messed up at the end of the day, because Devin is willing to sacrifice himself to be great. He said he would go down to 144 for Shakur. You know what I'm saying? And Shakur went quiet, which I expected him to do, because he's a fucking joke. These guys are jokes when it comes to the political part of the sport and comes to making fights. All these motherfuckers want to do is Twitter bang and Twitter slang. You know what I'm saying? And I just think it's weird, and I'm just sick of it. And that's why I don't get on here and talk about it as much as I used to, because we ain't getting no motherfucking action. And even though I'm a woman, it don't look that bad for me to talk about the trauma, the drama of it, and the chatty patty side of it, and all of the girly, like, if anybody should be talking about it, it should be me and the other girls that do this shit. But at the same time, when you really love the sport like a man, you kind of hate it. You kind of want to talk about some other shit going on, but it's just boiled down, it is. But I just want to jump on here and say, once, Shakur's management said what he said to Dev, right then and there, we should have sealed the fate of Shakur and what we thought about him. Like, it's a wrap, it's a dub. We ain't getting no good fights out of this dude. He's another tank in the making. Somebody who had lots of promise, but who never put, what I'm saying, his hands to the plow to bring back a harvest from it. And it just is what it is. I'm not finna sit here and cry about that shit. Even like some of you so-called strong man type niggas on here crying about that shit. That's what's blowing me. You know what I'm saying? That's what's blowing me. It's bad if I'm being more emotionally intelligent about things. Y'all know I get lit and hype and turn into the Reach Queen, all types of shit. But like, even I'm cool on that shit. You know what I'm saying? But speaking of little Tank, he supposedly, allegedly, I don't know if it's true, has because I'm not over there on X. I ain't been on X, formerly known as Twitter, since 2000, goddamn, you know what I'm saying, 14, 13 or some shit. So, he supposedly had a little page called G Money, where he's talking shit and calling everybody out, and it has Clarissa Shieldham as the profile picture, and even they had some little back and forth about that. She's like, why you use that picture that time when I tried to do my makeup, whatever she said. And he was like, not too much on me, that old feminine talk he was doing. But nonetheless, from that page, it looked like he supposedly allegedly been calling out Devin Haney and calling people out. And now we got Calvin Ford saying that that's not Tank. And I find that interesting, because if it's not Tank, then what the hell is Bill Haney talking about? Because Bill said that he spoke with Tank and them people, and they in talks, and they're closer than what they ever been, which is saying a lot for dealing with Tank team to seeing about a fight. Okay, he said it over there with 2 times, and boxing hearing voices, you know what I'm saying. So they put the pedal to the metal on Bill ass. They sure did. It was like, what's up? You be talking all this shit, saying we getting this, I mean, both of them, two-tone and boxing voice, they both was sitting there looking frustrated, like, nigga, you always do this shit, Bill. Is we getting in fights or what? Shout out them boys. They put that mat down on his ass. And Bill said that, listen, he ain't at liberty to say too much, but it's looking like whatever. But then you got Calvin Ford come out and say, well, that's not G Money's page. And It's just like, Tank swear he's so smart. All he do is attempt to play on y'all intelligence, not mine. He can't play on my little turd, can't play on my motherfucking intelligence. You know what I'm saying? Where he always get on there and talk about y'all so stupid, y'all are so dumb. What do y'all know? And it's like, nigga, what? What you mean what we know? We know that you play rockhead ass Las Vegas slick head ass games. That's what we know. We know that you stay on that little boy shit on how you just like with this fake ass G Money page. And if it wasn't your page, why you been ain't came out and said something? Because we know you get Twitter happy and you Twitter bang too. Now all of a sudden shit started heating up and motherfuckers started getting excited. Then you want to have your boy Calvin Ford come out and say, oh, well, that's not his page. It's like, come on, man, with that weird ass shit. You swear you so smart. You ain't outsmarting nobody. You know what I'm saying? But yourself out of greatness. That's all. That's the only thing you outsmart is yourself out of greatness. And the fact that y'all put so much weight behind him that whenever he do come back, if he come back and fight the fucking plumber down the street, y'all gonna sell that shit out and hype that shit out. Hype that shit up is why he act the way he act, because he know everybody's anticipating some type of action from his ass. Outside of myself, I don't give a damn about him. You know what I'm saying? If he come back, he come back cool. If he don't, he don't. It don't make me no never mind. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I'm true to this, not new to this shit, man. That weirdo shit he got going on. You know? By the way, this has been a day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Y'all know this is a Pro Boston Pro Jesus Loving channel over here. And we plug Jesus in everywhere we can. You know what I'm saying? And the Bible say faith without works is dead. You know what I'm saying? So, that reminds me of Shakur. Back on Shakur ass. You got so much faith in how great you are in your abilities, but you ain't put your hand to the plow to show that you got anything to back it. You ain't put no work in. Oh, hell. Weird. You know? Life too hard for a motherfucker to be playing on my intelligence. Think I'm finna get on here and get hype and get lit and all this so type of shit about it. I got real cats to skin out here. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody need to relax and calm down. And if we turned our back on these little chumps, you know what I'm saying, and stop giving them play on our channels and put some of these new cats. I don't care if we gotta talk about some, you know what I'm saying, it's fighters they ain't nobody never heard of. That goes for me too, all of us. Or just stop talking about the sport, period. New media going to strike till we start getting some of these fights. These motherfuckers will tighten up, but because they know we, at the end of the day, they gonna get some play from us, so we gonna back them. Good, bad, or indifferent. This is why they carry on the way they do. Speaking of good, bad, or indifferent, prayers up for Mr. Turkey, man. He got some things going on with him in his dome. I know he's Muslim, but I pray everything work out for him anyway. And when you're in Christ, we know that, by his stripes we're healed. ED, meaning we was healed 2,000 years ago when he did the work on the cross. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what they say over there in Muslim. I'm not gonna quote it if I did know it, but he's a billionaire. He has access to all types of doctors and things like that, and from that standpoint, from a physical standpoint, and I pray everything work out for the man. You know what I'm saying? I hate to hear it. Life is precious, man. We gotta be grateful. And when things are getting thrown at us and it's hard to be grateful sometimes because we like, oh, life has been so hard because it's not easy. No one told us the road would be easy, right? Even as a billionaire, all his money, but money can't buy you health, I promise you. It can buy you excess. It can get you excess. It can't buy you health. Health is wealth. And I know he knows that. And prayers up for the man. It's actually really sad. He's young. He's 44 years old. He has his whole life ahead of him. And if it were me, I would want prayers. If it were me, I would want people to say positive words and affirmations. And so God bless him, and I hope that he gets healed. Jesus said, I'm the way, the truth, and the light. The only way I would know how to pray for him is through my Lord and Savior. You know what I'm saying? But just speaking positively over his life, I pray all is well with him in the things, that concern him. They saying he want to meet with all of the promoters over in America and make things right. And I hope that also includes Eddie Hearn, because he said some discouraging things concerning Eddie Hearn. Where Eddie Hearn done turned gray behind this sport. He came in with the jet black hair and whatever. And he came in with the black hair and now he gray. So the sport did a number on Eddie, and I feel like he dedicated these last, what has it been, about 10 years of his life to the sport. And he still never really garnered the respect he should have over here in America. At the end of the day, he should have won a lot of us over, and I'm not taking it back, for what he did. You know what I'm saying? And moving the sport forward, and even connecting it to the money when he seen it was failing financially. He connected it to Mr. Turkey. And so, listen. Life is hard, man. That's all I got. God bless.